Hi guys, Calum from Cameron Bike Training here, and welcome to Storm Gareth. This has just started to come in, starting to get a little bit miserable, as you can see, so of course I thought I'd come out and do a video. Apologies straight off the bat if, well hey, look at that wind. So apologies straight off the bat if we get any rain on the lens or anything like that, but you can't do a how to ride in a storm video without getting a bit of rain on you. So guess what that's what we're doing today. Oh man, I feel worse about this than what I did about the snow video. Right, so we're gonna go out and I'm gonna talk about how to ride in the wind and the rain. So we'll start with the rain and then we'll move on the wind. We'll do it nice and methodically. So first of all, riding in the rain. When you're riding in the rain, the biggest thing to remember is you've got less traction. That's the biggest thing. So you want to pretty much do everything slower than what you were. So the idea is when you're cornering, you want to corner slower. When you're braking, you want to take longer to brake. See all that deal there? And when you are accelerating, you want to take a little bit longer than usual to accelerate as well. The idea is, big snail trail there as well, the idea is that you want to be as slow and as subtle with the bike as you can. That's generally the idea. Now, riding in the rain, one of the biggest advantages that we actually have riding in the rain is you can actually see diesel spills. So one thing that I always hear people say is that, oh, you get more diesel spills in the rain. You don't. You can just see them better and you're more aware of them. So a lot of the times that small diesel spills will go over them, you'll not even notice whilst in the rain, because obviously water makes diesel go rainbow coloured. You're gonna notice that diesel a lot more, and you're gonna be a bit more aware of it. So there is an advantage of riding in the rain anyway. Oh, this is miserable. What am I doing? Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, by the way. This is absolutely miserable. Right, other things to talk about then. Gear. So why is riding in the rain miserable? Riding in the rain's miserable because you get bloody wet. There's no other way of putting it. Now, I'm quite lucky. I mean, I'm obviously geared up for riding in all weather, so I've got pretty good waterproofs. I'm using what's called laminate textiles. So what that means is, in layman's terms, the waterproof layer of my jacket and trousers is bonded to the outer layer. So what that means is, rather than sort of water seeping into the top layer of my stuff, it runs off to a certain extent. Now, they're not 100% waterproof. I am a firm believer that there is no 100% waterproof motorcycle gear out there. If there is, please someone send me some, because I've not found any yet. But it will keep you drier for longer, and that's the whole idea. If you're warm and dry, you concentrate more. If you concentrate more, you're going to be a better motorcyclist and you're going to have a better ride. That's the idea with that. Moving on to gloves. Gloves are definitely not waterproof. There's far too many stitching in them. There's too many joins. They're too much of a funny shape. So that's the reason. There's just far too much stuff going on with gloves. I mean, you can see there how many stitches and how many things are in. They will let in water, and it's definitely not something you want to do, but there's not much you can do about it. The only thing that you could do is you could buy yourself a set of over gloves. They look horrible, but they will keep you dry. Certainly if you're doing a lot of commuting and you are going to be riding in the pissing rain a lot, then it is something that you might want to invest in. They're not very expensive, but they do the job. It's almost like over waterproofs. And again, that's always an option as well, that you can use over waterproofs as well. I generally don't use them, just because my stuff's generally quite waterproof anyway, so I don't feel the need to use them. However, having that little bit of an extra layer on you, once your stuff does start to wear down, it just means that you're going to stay drier for longer, so definitely worth doing. You can actually get little scrunchy sets of waterproofs, and they're really, really good, where you can just keep a set underneath your seat, and yeah, you can just take them out whenever you need them. Really, really good idea. And because they're that small and they will go down there, it's an awesome idea to do. Absolutely awesome idea to do. Right, so moving on then. Wind. So as you can see, it's a little bit windy today. And with that, we need to think about the wind as well. So on a road like this, the wind's actually not quite as bad. The reason for that is I've got lots of stuff around me. So lots of buildings, lots of trees, lots of walls, all that stuff. That's all going to deflect wind. The idea is that breaks the wind up, and it means that I don't get affected by it as much. It's almost like a wee shelter. However, we've started to get onto a more open road. That's going to go onto my bike rather than getting deflected off me, so I need to think about that. Now, there's a little section of road up here, and this is one of the reasons I came up this way to show you, where we've got a flyover going over a motorway. You can see that white car up there, he's just going over it now. That flyover is going to channel wind, so I'm suddenly going to get hit with open blast of wind here. This is going to be fun. Yeah, and there it is. So when you're going over something like that, you just want to try and keep yourself nice and loose. Now, I'm a bit of a sadist. I actually kind of enjoy going in the wind, as you can hear me giggling like a little girl. But yeah, I mean, the idea of being in the wind is you want to just try stay nice and loose. The thing that you've got to remember with wind is it's well, look at that tree there. Is that actually? I don't remember that being that low. Must have been though. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, the wind doesn't hit you at a constant rate. You get gales, and that's the bit that's really, really dangerous on a bike. Is you get these gales that will affect you on the bike, and you've got to be careful with them. So the whole idea is being loose, so that you can almost use your body as almost like a suspension against gales, so that you can sort of absorb that rather than transfer it through. So what I mean by that is that if you're really stiff in your bike, like, just get past here and I'll show you, like this, then any movement that happens to your top half, like the wind hitting you, will directly affect the bottom half. If you stay nice and loose and nice and relaxed, then you can move around and the bike doesn't move. And that's generally the idea with it. Now, what bike if you do have the option like I do of choosing what bike to go out on, choose the heaviest bike you can and the one with the least amount of plastics. So the bikes that will get affected by the wind more than anything else, came up a bit hot there mate, bikes that will get affected more than anything else are sort of mopeds, sort of scooters, and sports bikes, believe it or not, especially sort of 400cc sports bikes, the lighter classes. They'll get affected a lot more because the fairings and plastics on them act like kites, and especially if it's a light bike, then you will get blown about like like something that gets blown about a lot. There we go. How's that for what's that called again? It's not a simile. Anyway, so now that we're on a bit more of an open country road, I'm going to get affected by the wind a lot more. So the idea here is that I'm just going to live it slower than what I normally would, especially with the water too. Now that we've got sort of wind and rain working against us, I'm definitely taking this a lot slower. A couple of reasons. I have to think about the wind, as we said, but I'm also thinking about stuff like standing water. This corner is usually quite bad, right? You can see the water running down there, usually comes into the middle here. You can, don't know if you'll be able to see that in the video or not, but you know, the water's running down the hill here, so I've got to be careful with stuff like that. You can also see sort of we're starting to get a little bit of flooding here and stuff like that as well, so you've got to be careful with that. So anyway, other things with wind on bike. The faster you go, the more you'll get affected by the wind. Reason being is because of aerodynamics. So as you start to go faster, your bike actually becomes lighter. So your bike at 60 miles an hour will actually have less downforce, less force going down than what it would at, say, 30 miles an hour. And because of that, crosswinds will affect you a lot more. So definitely something that you want to think about, okay? That's starting to come into a little catchphrase here. Definitely something you want to think about, but yeah, quite a good one in my view. Other things that you want to be thinking about with the wind is stuff like debris. So you can see here we've got a lot of tree cover, so anticipating leaves, not so much this time of year because trees are bare anyway, but you can see there's a lot of leaves lying at the side of the road. So just in case they get blown onto the road, I'm going to watch for that, or debris like that. See that? That's more a car that's moved that over, but same could happen with the wind. But it's things like twigs and branches and stuff like that. You've got to be careful with stuff like that as well. Also stuff like little stones and stuff like that. You can see a couple of bits of debris on the road here, so definitely something to watch out for as well. Now, the reason that I came along this road is, obviously it's a nice twisty road, so it gives you guys something to look at whilst I'm talking. But the other reason as well is at the end of this road, we're going to get onto quite a big straight, quite a high speed straight as well, so national speed limit, very, very straight road. But it'll give you a good chance to see how I control my bike in the wind, hopefully, if we don't get caught up with any other traffic. And you'll also be able to see how the bike's moving around and how I'm adjusting myself to keep the bike nice and safe. There's also quite a nasty junction at the end of here as well that I might actually go over with you as well. Why not, since we're here? But yeah, as we're coming around here, so you can see that we're on an extremely open area now. So this is one of the worst areas for wind. This is where you really don't want to be. Areas that would be worse than this would be something like a bridge, Forth Road Bridge, Erskine Bridge, that sort of idea there. They do try and put wind deflectors up in there, but because you're so exposed, you just get absolutely spanked with the wind. So that would be worse than here. But we'll try and get through. Anyway, this junction here, we're going to do a little bit of blading here. So we're turning right. Now you can see I've sort of come out to a left position, which wouldn't be normal. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swing my bike in like this. I wouldn't do that at a normal junction, but this one you definitely need to, because it sort of hooks in on itself. Anyway, we get out, straighten up, and power on. We'll get ourselves up to 60. And of course, now that we're out here, the wind's actually kind of died down a little bit. That's typical, isn't it? Thanks for doing that, YouTube gods. Anyway, we're going to come down this road here. I'm staying centre of my lane. What that does is it gives me a nice buffer zone on both my left and my right, so that if I do have to shift myself about, or if I do get affected by the wind, it means that I do have a couple of metres in each side that I can sort of use that to absorb. As I said, if the wind does start to pick up, you will see me sort of start to ease off my speed so that the wind doesn't affect me quite as much. So there we go, started to feel it a little bit there, felt it along my chest. So the wind's actually coming towards us, we've got a bit of a headwind here. So what that means is it's actually affecting me more than what it's affecting the bike. So not too exciting for you guys to watch, apart from you get to see me getting up windy and wet and miserable and cold, which isn't the most pleasant thing in the world, but you know, it's got to be done. There we go. Right, so we're starting to get a little bit of crosswind now. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm just loosening myself off and just letting that wind, sort of letting my body absorb that wind. So the idea is although I'm getting buffeted about like a rag doll, the bike itself is actually holding this position. Now you'll only get away with doing this for up to a certain extent of wind, if you like. Once it starts getting so strong that it's affecting your bike, you will actually find that you're actually leaning over to keep the bike straight. In my view, that's when it's too dangerous to ride. That's when you should really be saying, maybe I'll take 4 wheels instead of 2, okay? Now, however, there's a lot of people that don't have the option. My advice to you guys is that don't have the option, slow down. The slower you go, the less work you'll have to do to keep yourself out the wind. Now, do you see on the road here, see how it sort of rises up, and you can see the motorway, you can see cars going along the motorway there? So we're going to go over another flyover here, except this flyover is a lot more exposed. So as we come across here, you're going to find that this wind should pick up, and I'm going to have fun. Hey, we got HGV to help us as well. Well, hey, let's get out of the spray. Wow, there we go. Oh man, this would suck if I didn't have good gear. But yeah, that's generally the idea. Now, one of the things, you notice a lot of the cars here don't have their headlights on. Idiots. When you're riding and stuff like this as well, remember, do you see how grey everything looks? Yeah, so remember, you're going to blend in with everything, so you want to be thinking a lot about your visibility as well. Now, the idea with your visibility is you always want to try and create contrast. So in weather like this, when it's so grey, luminous yellow is actually a really, really good colour to wear. I know that whole sort of classic yellow high-vis thing, and you're going to sit here and go, oh, typical motorcycle instructor telling me to wear a high-vis. High-vises aren't always the best thing to wear, but in weather like this, they really are. And in all honesty, get yourself sort of like a set of scrunchy waterproofs to sit under your seat. Just some high vis ones. I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to. I'm sure your fashion sense will be able to tolerate wearing them when it's like this, you know. But yeah, definitely something to do. Try and avoid sort of blacks and dark colours like this, because let's be fair, it's not exactly light at the moment anyway. Anyway, I think that'll be the end of the video. I have probably missed loads out. I'll try and answer any questions in the comments down below. And yeah, I think that's it. So like and subscribe to the video if you've enjoyed it, dislike it if you didn't enjoy it, and please let us know why, because we're still learning with this. I'm going to be saying that no matter how long we've been going. But yeah, that's the idea. And the very last thing that I just wanted to say there is thank you to everyone. We, at time of filming anyway, we've just hit 100 subscribers. It came up on my phone about 15 minutes ago. And yeah, well chuffed. Thank you to everyone, and hopefully we'll get bigger and bigger and we can start making some better and better videos. And hopefully, just put in the comments down below, should Calum do a how to ride in the sunshine video, because I really want to do it, but everyone else has told me it'd be a waste of time. I really want to do a how to ride in nice weather video. So comment down below if you think that we should give me a break and let me ride in some nice weather and film that for a change. But again, thank you so much, and we will see you all very, very soon. Excellent. Right, Calum signing off. Bye bye.